and she stomped off and went to her room and like slammed the door. And a few minutes later, Scarlett brought me. You know, they have those kids like it's like a. It almost looks like a slate, like they can write on it, but then you push a button and it disappears or whatever. You can draw on it. She brought me out a note that was like, "Dad, you made me upset." I'm like, I had to write back like, "I'm sorry."
Because of no dessert?
Yeah.
No dessert.
Hey, check this out. My 12-year-old said the same thing the other day because I wouldn't give her ice cream at like 9 o'clock p.m. Like a.m. had you come to me, 12-year-old. You know what I mean? I think we're live.
Yeah, we are.
We are.
Yeah, we're live.
We've been live. Actually,
Yeah,
for
I
now,
think
we've
so.
been live.
At this point.
We're live. Hey, Mike, if you were to introduce this show and like get me to the next part where I push the button and the video plays, like the intro video plays, how would you do it?
I would do it by consulting with ChatGPT.
Okay, and what it would chat? Well, let's call Chat
no.
GPT.
Oh, no.
Chad GPT.
What kind of thing would Chad say about this?
What would
moment?
Chad GPT say about the intro?
I think it's time for it.
That's it?
It's about time for us to go live on Primetime here, and we are. And now we need an intro, and it's time. We're ready.
All right,
That's what
it's time.
ChatGPT would say, word for word.
Ladies and gentlemen, Taylor Primetime is back.
Right?
That part's awesome. I love that part. Guess what? Guess what month it is?
Marge.
March. Guess what happens in March?
March Madness.
Madness.
Some kind of
I'm so
some
excited
kind of
about
insanity.
sports right now. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we got Daria and RAM here. You know what that means? Let's just not waste any time. Let us not waste any time at all. Hey, Dar,
No
Yes.
wasting the
hey,
time.
Dar,
Whoa,
Ram,
yeah.
you guys want to play a song? You want to open with a
Oh,
song?
sure.
Sure.
Let's do-
Sure.
Are you warmed up?
Who, us?
Did you warm up your vocal?
Duh. You know
Did
I
you-
do that every morning.
Did you?
Do we do
warm
we
up
do
your
a little
fingers?
warm up? Hi everyone in the chat. Oh, I just figured out I can turn on the chat on here instead of using my phone. This is great. What up, Rob and Tex and Elderberry? That's a great name. And Craig and John and Mike. Oh, that's you. Hi, Mike. And
hi.
Kevin and everyone. Hi. What's up, Gabe? Mike.
Let's do
Jay.
this.
What's up, Ram?
What's up, Doc?
Hey, tonight we're talking about studios. Your next studio guitar. The studio guitars. 314 CE Studio, 414 CE Studio. We're going to dive into the 300 series and the 400 series as a collection. I'm so excited for this episode. So, Dar and Ram each are holding studio guitars. I think, Dar, you have
Yeah.
the 314,
I think mine's the 3.
Yeah.
314 CE
Yes.
Studio, and
Just
Ram has the
normal
414
naked looking
CE
one.
Studio. And I think it's time. Let's just open with a song. Let's blow
Yeah.
these people away
Yeah. Do it.
with some
Ooh,
tunes.
should we show them the studio-y sound? All like at the top, Ram, or you want to start with a sweet finger picky acoustic one? Do you guys want to?
Let's go finger picky, and then we'll bring
Finger
in
picky
studio.
first? Okay,
Yeah.
you got it. Okay, so we're gonna rock your faces off a little bit later. But okay, let's do this one. This song has a whole story behind it and stuff too, but we'll just play it for you. Then we can talk. Okay, I'm gonna put on a little bit of reverb here. All right, Ram, you ready?
Yeah.
Oh, okie dokie. So great to be with you guys.
Great to see you.
Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And lips never in end. Her sentence hung on the breath of a wind and kept song anyway. Nothing was said. She melted butter on hot steaming bread. The morning came. Say the words I love. Say the words I love. Built the house from scratch, a driveway lined with roses to the back. Nearly everything would change, rearrange. So she held her soft arms wide, never thought a moment to ask why. A sigh to pass the time. Say the words I love. 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 Cutting through the lawns before the fences went up, sneaking out before my heart could catch up. A teenage rage roaring below, but my heart's in the attic with the snare drum driving me on. I hear those bass notes now. Tell me where to press, tell me what to do. Show me how to play a song so I can play it for you. Show me where to press, tell me what to do. Show me how to play a song so I can play it for you. Show me where to press, tell me what to do. Show me how to play a song so I can play it for you. Show me where to press, tell me what to do. Show me how to play a song so I can play for you. And lips, never an end. A sentence hung on the breath of a wind and kept on.
Where did they go? Can't see them.
Hi, guys.
Hi guys.
Sorry,
So we can tell you the whole story, and I'm sure you guys have questions, but we wanted to do that one partly because we're like, these are the studio guitars. This is a studio show. Let's play stuff we've never played for like anyone before.
That
like
was
as if you're
super
just
cool. I dug it.
hanging out with
Yeah,
us
it's
in the
awesome.
studio. And that song has hidden in it the whole story of how Ram started with music. Like it's his whole childhood. And he like told me this, like I helped make this song with him as a gift for him once when he asked for it. And so like he told me all these stories from his childhood and I like translated all of them into lyrics. And so the little like, tell me where to press, tell me what to do, show me how to play a song so I can play it for you. That was like, right, like your friend was just like, press down on this string and then press down on this string. And like it makes notes and that's how songs happen. And
That's right.
yeah.
That's awesome. I love that. I love
Mike's-
that you made that into a story.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
And the say the words I love is the last words my grandmother said before she died.
Oh no, don't make everyone
Which
cry.
which
The
I
show
thought-
just started.
Which was so perfect because that's what her life was. She was just love. And she was just sitting there, said, I love, and then,
Oh, so sweet.
sad but beautiful,
It's so beautiful.
We didn't pay for our cell phone minutes, so Mike will be right back. We had to re-up real quick, but he's having a little tech difficulty. He'll be right
High
back.
five, Bram. Oh, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Aw.
I'll
Thanks,
do my
guys.
best to hold down the fort while Mike is gone.
The mic
Yeah.
for it.
Mike, come back.
All right, so ladies
We
and
love
gentlemen,
you.
if you're new to the show, welcome. This is a good time. We call it Taylor Primetime. It's where guitar nerds unite. We get together and we hang out and we talk nerd stuff. And sometimes we don't even talk about guitars and people get bummed. But we're not going to do that tonight. We're going to talk about guitars. It's going to be awesome. Daria and Ram are two of my dearest friends. I love them dearly, and it's so fun. It's probably been on the show 4 times now, maybe.
Really? Ooh.
I
Oh, are we
think-
like almost 5 timers club?
Yeah, we're gonna
like
have to get
SNL?
gold
We get a
jackets.
jacket?
Yes. Do we get a jacket?
gotta
Yeah.
get a jacket.
Yeah, you get like
I want a jacket.
you get like pink ladies jackets. It's gonna be great.
That'd be so
Yes,
awesome.
please.
Yeah.
Excuse me, real quick. So, producer Jordan wanted to try something new this week. Some of you guys have been watching the show. You see, we have another cast member. His name's Jordan, and he wanted to try this thing. So, I'm sure you're all familiar with Chat GPT, right?
Oh, no.
AI.
Yes.
AI. So we at Taylor in our department like to call him Chad GPT. So Chad, we asked Chad to write Daria's intro
Oh no.
copy. And it's actually, surprisingly, this is what Chad had to say about you.
Oh no. It knows who I am. That's so weird.
Tonight on the show, we have Chad. I'm just kidding. I just wanted to joke with you. All right. We have Daria and Ram joining us tonight on the show. Daria is a musician who gained popularity for her live interactive online concerts on Google Hangouts. She is known for her soulful singing, guitar playing, and engaging performances. Daria's use of social media and live streaming platforms has helped her reach a global audience and developed a dedicated fan base.
No way.
That's
That's
It
crazy.
just stole all that from the Wikipedia entry I wrote about you.
Do I even
5
have a
minutes
wiki?
ago. That's what Chad
You
had
do
to say.
now.
All right, Chad. I like Chad.
That
Yeah,
was so
Chad was-
nice, Chad.
Chad was pretty impressive. So
That
we
was pretty
also
sweet.
did it for Mike Venezia. Should we see
Ooh,
what
this I want to hear. Let's
I almost
go.
spit my water out.
Dude, he's not even here to
Defend him.
defend himself, but let's try. All right. So everyone, Mike Venezia, who is usually the fourth little window guy on this podcast, Mike Venezia is a prominent figure at Taylor Guitars, serving as the company's district sales manager. Okay, the district sales manager. Did you know it said that, Mike?
What's that?
In his role, he plays a crucial part in promoting Taylor's products and engaging with both dealers and customers. Venezia is known for his deep knowledge of Taylor's craftsmanship and has been featured in various presentations and factory tours. That's you, Mike. You're doing a good job.
It is, and I'd be doing a
Totally.
lot better if this input thing worked. So I apologize. But
Well, you don't need to apologize. Chad is apologizing for you. So hold on
Yeah.
real quick. All right?
Chad GPT. Yes,
For
Chad.
instance, he guided a detailed factory tour for the Music Zoo.
I did.
You did do that, showcasing
that.
the meticulous process behind Taylor's guitar making. Additionally, he has discussed the nuances of Taylor's custom shop. Where's the custom shop?
It is within the standard shop.
Okay. Custom shop guitars highlighting the unique materials and craftsmanship involved. Venezia's expertise offers enthusiasts and potential buyers valuable insights into Taylor's dedication to quality and innovation.
Wow.
Indeed.
Time out. Did
That's-
Chad
yeah.
really write that, or did you write
That
that?
thing sounds like your LinkedIn bio,
That's all. That could not be more Chad. That was
Well, Mike, we are appreciative of having you here, and I'm sorry you're having input issues.
yes,
It could be a whole lot worse.
yes.
So
I
anyway,
like your new digs.
what's this?
Yeah,
say?
where's Roger though?
Oh, he's annoyed, so he's wandering about at the moment.
He's the one unplugging all of Mike's stuff.
Yeah, he's just like, Daddy, you're going on air, but I want you to play with me and run around the new apartment. So
He's like, "Come
I'm
on,
just
dude."
gonna screw with your universal audio gear.
At least he knows what UA gear is. Okay, so
He
everything was entered into Chad GPT. So
Yes.
Jordan decided to Chad GPT himself.
So
Okay.
good. I can't wait.
Based on the available information, there is no public record indicating Jordan Avnet has been affiliated with Taylor Guitars. Period.
Oh no.
There it is.
So good.
That
All right,
was
guys.
a subtle. That was a subtle hint from HR.
I love that so much. So welcome, Ram. Welcome, Daria, Mike, Gabe. It's always great to see you. You guys know how this works. Guitar nerds. Let's keep the nerd and guitar nerd. It's a talk show. We talk a lot, so forgive us. Let's keep guitar nerdery in this thing. Any derogatory or hateful comments, Gabe will put you in timeout, and we don't want that.
100%.
Bug your haters. We have absolutely no hate. So
That
let's
is a
play a
good
quick
thing.
game of this or that with Daria and Ram.
Yes. Let's go.
You can't go with this one first, Jordan. I know he's watching. You cannot go. with
Where
this
is
one
Jordan? Get in here,
It's-
buddy.
first. Look, there's not enough room.
There's
sometimes.
4 windows.
It's
I know. I'm
weird.
sorry. Okay.
It's so weird the way this thing works. And maybe one day we'll get into that later. Okay, this or that, Daria.
Yeah.
Star Trek or Star Wars?
You're starting with Jordan. I love you. Jordan's starting with it. Star Trek, obviously the most amazing. And wait, I'm sorry. I need to be very clear. And Ram, obviously you need to join in too. I'm not talking original Shatner. I don't know anything about that. I know enough to understand the lore. We're talking next gen. But most importantly, the greatest of all Star Treks, I will absolutely live on this forever, DS9. Deep Space Nine is the most important Star Trek, and it is the greatest thing, and I love it so much, and I watch at least one episode a night, and it teaches you everything you need to know about life, and it's and I'm on a crusade to try to get Jay to watch one episode, and I keep telling him how, like, Captain Sisko loves baseball, and he like does all this baseball stuff in the hollow suites, and he's just like not having it. I send him at least one DS9 gif a day. He doesn't understand any of them. DS9 forever.
Mom,
yes.
Mom, do you hear this nonsense, Mom? She's like, he loves baseball.
Hi, Chase,
you should
Mom.
watch this show about space. All right,
Yeah.
maybe I'll watch an episode.
It's not about space. It's about people and inclusiveness and understanding and love and being explorers and being brave, and it's in friendship. It's basically a workplace friendship show.
It's
Just the workplace is in space.
It's basically
Your friend is Captain Janeway. What's up?
No, not in DS9. No.
No, she's the other. What is she?
Yeah,
Voyager?
no, DS9. You've got
didn't watch
Bajorans,
these
you've got
shows.
Cardassians, you've got Odo, you've got Changelings, you've got. Come on.
Okay.
Shapeshifters.
We
You
need
said
to
it was a nerd show. I'm letting my nerddom fly here. Sorry.
We need to continue here, but basically what I'm saying is
I'm muted.
maybe I'll watch a show. The Lord of the Rings trilogy or the Twilight Saga.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Totally.
Right.
I was like, is that a question?
Tolkien,
Sorry.
all the way.
No shade, but.
Oh, this one's brutal, Mike. Jay Parkin or Mike Venezia?
Wait, what are you asking?
What the heck? This or that? I didn't write
That's not nice.
Jordan,
I mean-
what the heck, man?
Jordan, what's
Right
wrong
now-
with you?
I mean,
Jordan
she won't say me, even though it's true, just because she doesn't want to upset Jay. I get it. It's all right.
I mean, I think Mike is the best Mike and Jay is the best Jay.
All right, that'll work.
Well, you know what? I think I met Mike before I met Jay.
Yes.
So I'm going to go with Mike.
Oh.
I also
Ram.
Okay,
met
well, I'm
Mike
obviously
first.
going with Jay because he's my best friend and my big brother, and I love him more than anything in the universe.
And
So there.
I love Jay too.
I know you do.
Dissension in the family.
Gabe, we should have everyone fight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just hug it out.
I got more. Saint Vincent or her?
Saint
Ooh,
Vincent.
St. Vincent. Yeah, sorry. I
Ripping
mean,
guitar,
hers
so-
really cool, but St. Vincent she's so weird, and I like weird. She's wonderful, and she produces all her own stuff. She's so cool. Such a cool, weird, wonderful player. Yeah, I love her.
Dope sig model too.
Yeah,
Polyphonics
totally.
Free. All right. Ooh, here's a good one. T5Z or Taylor Solid Body?
Oh, well.
I actually have the old solid body, like it hasn't been made anymore. Those are cool, man. They're really cool. I always say that the bridge on those feels like a Rolex or something.
We have
Not that
one
I've
right
touched a
over there.
Rolex, but like,
Want me to grab it?
no, it's okay. But I love my T5Cs. They're my favorite. But the solid bodies are really rad. Like, I know there's the whole Powers Electric thing now. I have not been able to play one of those yet. I can't wait to try. So I can't compare. But I don't know, Ram, what do you think?
I think T5Z for me. But
Yeah, I mean, they're awesome. They're really
Okay,
awesome.
T5Z it is.
Yeah.
Rosewood or mahogany?
oh, Rosewood. for me.
Rosewood. Yeah,
Rosewood.
definitely.
And last but not least, in the box, plugins or outboard gear?
I don't feel qualified because I just use plugins for everything because I don't have a lot of outboard gear. He does, though. You have a
Ram.
lifetime of stuff.
You know,
I mean,
I do think though that the Neural DSP stuff
So cool.
and what's the pedal that they make, the Cortex or whatever that is?
yeah,
Cortex, yeah.
Quad Cortex. Yeah.
I think that stuff's awesome.
super
quad-
cool.
Awesome.
Quad Cortex is so absolute fire.
And the thing I love about the plugins, they have that cool gate dial.
Yeah.
So you can have these, gnarly, distorted sounds that are totally quiet until you play them, which is It's so sweet when you're recording.
Totally.
All right.
We might be using some neural DSP stuff a little later, if you guys want, to show how studio-y these studio guitars are. Ooh. Yes.
I am
Is it
so
the
excited for
gent
this.
setting?
Let's just get right into it, Mike. Let's get right into it. Let's just talk guitars now. That's
Let's
what
do it,
people are
baby.
here. They want to talk about guitars, right?
Everybody.
Mike, will you walk us through the history of the 400 series, 300 series? Will you moonwalk us through the history?
No, we'll face forward. we're a forward-facing company. We're a forward-thinking company, so I'm just not gonna slide my way back. Well, throughout the years, obviously, Taylor's added series after series after series into our lineup because Taylor's all about having choices, right? And, we started with our 800 series, 700 series, 900 series, and then we started coming down from that ladder into the 500 series. And then for a very long time, the 400 series was the entryway into Taylor guitars, period. And then in the late 90s, we introduced the 300 series. Now, the 400 and 300 series at that time, from the late 90s till the early 2000s, we were using woods that people meaning other guitar companies, weren't normally using, things like Sapele or Ovencoal. And these were woods that were not on the, not in the typical periodic table of elements when it comes to fabricating a guitar. But Bob has always been looking to the future and looking for different ways and different materials to make guitars out of. And we were using those for a very, very long time. And they were the gateway. The 300 became the gateway into Taylor guitars in general. And then as we added 1 and 200 series, the 300 series became the gateway for solid wood USA made Taylor guitars. So 300, 400 series, they're on the close to the entry point for all solid wood USA made guitars made of wonderful woods. And throughout the years, that's changed. The 300 series hasn't changed. So we've added things to it. We've added, mahogany at times and urban ash at times, but it's always been rooted in a spruce Sapele guitar, spruce top, Sapele sides and back. And for those that don't know, Sapele is the next door neighbor to mahogany when it comes to tone in a lot of ways, and the way it looks for that matter. So it was far more plentiful. It grew faster, and it seemed to fit for our 300 series guitars. Ovencoal was West African wood that mimicked rosewood in a lot of ways tonally, had more of an olive greenish kind of look to it in a lot of ways, olive brown maybe, depending on the gradient of the wood that you got. But over the years, that wood started getting really popular with furniture makers. And they started laying those areas to waste that Ovencoal was plentiful in, and Ovencoal started getting very, very expensive to procure. So we changed the 400 series over to a rosewood series. Now let's get caught up to the present day. Like I said, Taylor's all about having choices, having options, whether it be tonally or different appointments and things of that nature. And that's where the studio series plays a part. Because now you have your options of tone woods, but basically you have a choice of basically think about it. If you're buying a car, you have a base model and then you have certain trim packages that you can add on, right? So you can either have the base model, or you can have the one that's the model with the upgraded leather seats and things of that nature that doesn't necessarily change the way the car drives, but it looks different and it's a little cooler from certain perspectives. You, as the consumer, get to decide what works best for you with these distinct packages of 314 CE Studio, 414 CE Studio, or 314 CE Standard, 414 CE Standard. Now, there are some other micro differences between them. We're going to talk about all those tonight. But from a 30,000 foot view, think of it that way. They're packages in and of themselves. You have your base model and you have your touring package, if you will, studio versus standard. So I think that's kind of a good way to kind of sum it up at the top as we get into this.
I feel like you were at NAMM
Totally.
recently and you practiced that quite a bit because that was spot on. That was great.
I may have.
Gabe has Let's stay on 400 standards and 300 standards for a minute. Gabe, you sold guitars for a very, 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 very long
Too
time.
long.
Too long.
Could say too long.
So one would say. And how were those two series for you in your time in retail?
I mean, I think, and I think Mike and I have talked about this kind of a lot over the years too. Like 300 and 400 series guitars are, like he said, kind of the on ramp for solid wood Taylors for a lot of people. One of the things that I think that's so smart about this new series is it creates an easier on ramp financially, because they're, you know, like it's an easier way to get into those guitars. But, you know, especially in the, you know, throughout the 2000s, I don't think there was any more ubiquitous Taylor seller than like the 314 CE. Like everybody came in looking for that guitar, and the 400s were kind of a close second. When 400 switched over to Rosewood, I think that really amped those up too. People really loved that whole vibe. And they've always just been, you know, so much bang for the buck in terms of what you get out of a great, you know, solid wood acoustic guitar. I think you're getting so much there. And, you know, the thing I would always talk about, I think, and still do often, is that they're made in the same place as the 800 series. They're made by the same people.
Right.
They're not making them worse. You know, they're still just as good. Like they're
Totally.
in terms of, you know, the build quality and everything. Like they're great guitars. There are differences for sure, but like, you know, I think there's just so much there.
It's funny,
and
Gabe,
those
that
were
you,
always
not to
huge.
interrupt you, but it's funny that you mentioned the 800 series along with the 314 and 414, because depending on what year you're looking at our chart as to top selling guitars of the year, it's always those three. It's a 314 CE, 414 CE, 814 CE. And which one was at the top that year varies. You could throw a dart.
That's true historically, right?
Yeah. And I would say those were probably always really big for me too. You know, I've always been kind of in rural Ohio. So, you know, the more entry level solid wood guitars like 300s and 400s would always sell better for sure. But, you know, I just think those have always been such a big part of Taylor identity, and such a big part of who the company is to a lot of players in terms of discovery too. A lot of times when people discover Taylor, those are the first things they're discovering.
That's funny that you say that, Gabe. The first Taylor I ever played was a 314 CE. Yeah, at retail, 314 CE. A buddy of mine bought one. He bought one. He brought it home. He's like, I got this new brand. Like, you know, because you don't know, right? Everybody's so familiar with Martin and so familiar with Gibson, right? So you hear this. He's like, I got this newer brand, and I mean that was 25 years ago. So we were only 25 years old, really, at the time. Taylor was. So yeah, very interesting. That being said, before we dive into some questioning with Dar, I actually have a clip that you guys made, or a video that you made for just the standard 300s line. So I'm going to play that. I did not pull one in for the 400s, but this is a fun little minute and 20 seconds that Dar and RAM made about a year ago. Check this out.
Oh my God.
You remember this one?
Wait, wasn't like the recent one?
I think I think I have those too.
Oh, okay,
But
cool.
This one is,
I don't even know if I remember. This will be fun.
yeah, this was a good one. I think we
Awesome.
may have shown this on the show before. So
Ooh,
see you back in a minute 20. That was one of those times where I sent you a bunch of guitars and was like, make a song. And you're like, what? Make what? Do what? And I was like, just make something. Just make
Do
something.
something. That's
And
the fun of it, though. When you guys send us this stuff, there's this, I think I've said it a million times before, but there's like songs in them. Like they just come with songs packaged. Like you guys should advertise that. Like Taylor's, they come with songs packaged inside them. Because you just start playing and they're just in there.
true.
You know, that was like a really cool, I think you just picked those up and you were like, ooh, bam. And it was just there.
Well, we had
What's-
the 12
it's-
string too, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, totally.
what that proves is you could take one whole series of guitars and make something super cool out of it. You have
Totally.
Yep.
grand auditoriums in there. I believe we sent a grand concert. I think we had a 12 string, of course. We had hard tops. We had spruce tops. I mean, what a remarkable
It's so
series of
fun to
guitars.
just hear all the different tones and get inspired by the different things. You're like, oh, this one wants to be chunky and this one wants to play lead lines. And, you know, they sort of like tell you what they want to do. But I mean, I didn't want to jump in because you guys were doing such a beautiful job of explaining all of the stuff about these guitars before. But like these ones really took us by surprise, I think. Like we're a little spoiled. We get to be friends with you guys. We get to try things sometimes. And we just so you guys know, we borrow them. We play them a little bit. We like adopt them for a few weeks and we send them back so that you guys can buy them. But it's so easy to fall in love with these the really fancy looking ones that come and
With
they're,
the
oh,
inlays.
Steve, hi.
With all the inlays and stuff, it's sort of, you know, what 814 CE is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, you have these gorgeous inlays and like all of this amazing stuff. And it's so easy to sort of fall in love with each of them as they come. And these ones seem more understated when they arrive.
Yeah.
But then when you start playing them, to me, I was like, oh, it was almost that moment of like, oh, why was I so taken in by that person's looks? like this is like this is the real one. Like this is like the best friend guitar that you want to hang out with all the time and like is good in every situation and like they're dear to you, but they're also cool to hang out with every day. Like I don't know if that's a silly way of saying it, but I just really felt so welcomed by these ones, and to Jay knows, to the point where we were like, can we keep these for a little longer? Like can we send back a fancier one so we can keep these? Like we really fell in love with them. It sort of brought me back to just being so grateful for the tone and the playability, and just be like, wait, tone is all that matters. You know, it's fun. Like I liked what you said, Mike, about the car. It really is like that. It's like, okay, it's cool to have leather seats sometimes, and it's cool to have like some crazy paint job maybe, but sometimes maybe it's also hipper not to, you know, like you're a little more like understated, you know? You don't need everyone looking at you. Like it's about what's in it.
The beautiful thing is you get to where you want to go, and that's
Yeah.
what the basic car does for you, right? I found even the pickup in this thing, when you plug in plugins for it, you know, and distortion and all that stuff.
Which we can show you if you want.
Yeah, but it's really, really happy, you know. I don't reach for the electric guitar. I'm going, well, this is awesome. But you can also get this clean tone, so you can get a really nice combination.
Yeah. So it does feel like that's maybe I've been playing Taylor's my entire guitar playing life, so I don't actually have that much to compare to because I've just always loved these the most. But as I understand it, I guess other companies, maybe it's more like the series as they go up, it's kind of like the tone is maybe gate kept from you and you have to unlock better and better tone and better quality as you go. And I think it's really beautiful that you guys are like, well, everybody should have gorgeous tone and should have the Taylor neck and like the playability. Yeah. And then you can, like you were saying, like get fancy stuff because it's fun and it's cool and it's awesome. But I think that that's really nice that everybody gets to have the ability to play at that level. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, Bob always wanted to win on how a guitar felt. That's for sure.
Yeah.
We're definitely since the beginning of Taylor, since the American Dream days all the way to our 50th anniversary, we've been on this pursuit of playability, we would say, right? Like always make it playable. Last week we talked about that, or 2-3 whatever weeks ago we talked about that in the Gold Label episode, where we're talking about why would he introduce the action control neck. Well, you introduce the action control neck because now we want to keep going on the playability side. Now, Mike and I, in a conversation earlier this week, we had a great discussion on, but let's go back, right? when you first see a guitar, you don't necessarily go, boy, I bet that's playable. You don't. You don't.
Yeah.
No, 100% of no one says, I bet that's playable, right? They say, wow, that looks cool, or that looks interesting, or that, like St. Vincent guitar. The
Yeah,
idea
totally.
of why she designed that guitar is so remarkable, right? To fit a woman's body better. But I look at that guitar as a big, giant dude and go, that
It's just
guitar's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
What is up with that guitar? That's really so. The first thing is how the guitar looks. It looks great, okay, and then the next thing you're going to decide is, wow, that guitar sounds good, and then you pick it up and you're like, it's also. And Mike, we talked about this. Like, there's a broader scope to the word feel of a guitar. The feel of a guitar is a bunch of different attributes put together, right? But playability, how we are known for, as Mike. To quote Mike, as having comfortable, playable necks. And that's it. So we have this thing, you put it all together, and you have this wonderful package of instrument. Now, the studio guitars are a remarkable a version of that. Really cool looking, sounds great.
I mean, that's pretty cool looking. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, somebody actually mentioned that they like the burst on that in the chat here, that they were calling
Yeah,
it
it's
out.
it's so pretty. We actually kind of wanted to keep the burst versions of both of these. This is the 3 and that's the 4.
Yeah.
But then we were like, maybe we should have one of the. I mean, there's something really cool about just the natural one too.
Yeah, they're
No, the truth is that the burst on this one sounded better than the 300 burst for some reason.
I think of it as just had a
I
good
feel the same
personality.
way.
Really?
No.
Oh, is it a thing?
No.
I thought it was just.
Yeah,
a random
probably.
thing.
Andy probably would be the only one who can truly hear it, but we think we can hear it, so let's just go with that. Let's lie to ourselves and say we can go with that. But yes, in my opinion, also, the natural 314, it sounds better than the burst 314.
Weird.
And to be honest, it's weird. I know
It's
it's
weird.
weird. That being said, I have a clip of that you guys did for the 300 series and the 400s. I got 2 clips for you.
Awesome.
And we'll do another little couple minute break here, and then we'll
Okay, awesome.
dive
Also,
into.
Brian in the chat agrees with everything I'm saying.
Well, of course.
Go, Brian.
Oh, look at that guy! It's Brian.
We should invite Brian to like professional meetings, and he'll just pop in.
Let's go.
I agree with
Daria's
everything
right.
Daria
I have a
said.
hype man in
yeah.
the chat. I just wanted to call him out.
Yes.
Thank you, Brian. You're an excellent hype man.
Brian
Come in with a top hat and a clock around his neck and just
Yes.
Brian's my dude,
Come to
man.
all my meetings.
We appreciate you,
What
Brian.
Daria said. No.
Brian is my dude. Okay, first of all, he's a Lions fan, and that's really
go.
all that
That's
matters.
awesome.
We're Lions
Second-
fans too.
We're with you, buddy.
Second, we have a mutual love for the sport of baseball, which is great. And he just bought one of the studio guitars. He also owns a 50th anniversary GS Mini special edition. And ready for this one?
Yes.
Guaranteed this one is a mic dropper. He owns the 50th anniversary Builder's Edition 814 CE with a sinker top on it. Oh, that guitar is awesome. And he travels a lot, right? So being able to just throw a guitar that is equally, it's got equal craftsmanship for sure, but one that might be a little bit less precious than that Builder's Edition guitar.
Yeah.
Throws it in his bag, and he goes, or in his case, and he goes and travels with it. Brian, you're the man. Thanks for joining.
That's perfect. That was the chat GPT on Brian.
That was the
JGPT.
JGPT. So let me play a clip of what do we want to watch first, guys? 300s?
Do an order.
300s,
300, 400.
300s, then 400s.
Yeah,
All right.
let's do it.
Here is a little rip that Daria and RAM made a few months ago, and I'm stoked about it. Hope you guys enjoy. Be right back. My favorite part of that whole video is the maestro head thing at the end.
Oh, I know. He's so cool. Sometimes when we make
What a
these videos,
shredder.
I know, right? Sometimes when we make these videos, I'm just like, I'm just gonna film you because you're cool. Like,
Yeah, so-
I almost unmuted to be like, woo, in the middle of that one.
Ram's a ripper, everyone. If you haven't
is.
known,
Actually,
if
I'm a
you didn't
bass
know.
player. I don't really play.
Hey,
guitar.
Ram, what was your tuning on that?
That was a Dadgad.
Dadgad. Okay.
Oh, such a fun tuning that people.
Such
should
a
What, what I
so pretty.
what I like, I did that tuning, and then when you just strum that one chord, it was just so beautiful. It was like a very nice bottom on it.
Yeah,
So,
real
I mean, it was-
throaty.
That
So
was
that's
throaty.
that's what I'm saying. So the guitar
Yeah.
wrote that piece. You know, I just did the tuning, and I went, oh my god, played that little lick, and it was like, whoa, this is so full. So it just sort of happened. It was sort of like a heavy metal sort of thing.
Oh yeah, it chugged.
Yeah.
It chugged. I was like, wow,
Chug,
now they need to
chug,
hook it
chug,
up to the
chug,
quad
chug, chug.
cortex and really just chug, chug, chug.
There you go. Yeah.
All right. Let's listen to the 400s piece now, which is totally
Totally different.
Totally different.
totally different and
Totally
absolutely beautiful at the same time. So 400s, and then we'll come back and talk about how you guys use these things in the studio.
Sure.
We'll be right back in a minute and 17 seconds. Come on.
I always like trying to get that shot at the end.
I know you got
Can
it.
I get it to focus?
Handheld. That was
Yeah.
fantastic.
I love that one.
You see, hear how clear the lead line is, though? That's got a little bit of effect on it, but it just blew my mind. It was so easy to play, you know,
Totally.
without having to, you know, increase up the volume or anything. But
So
Yeah, it's really fun to just like layer these things up and just like it's hardly any effect or anything. It's just what the guitars sound like. They have crazy sustain too. These
Yeah.
ones really, really pretty.
that Mike, why do they have so much sustain?
Because they sustain with the sustainer.
Yeah.
Cool.
Or
Sometimes-
the part of the
That's what I was gonna
V-class
say.
bracing thing, which has something to do with it, considering you get enhanced volume, sustain, and a better sense of in-tuneness up and down the entire fingerboard with V-class bracing.
And your
Did-
exits are on either side of the plane.
That was the Mike GPT for V-Class Racing.
Mike GPT.
I've talked about that once or twice, but no, that is part of it. I mean, obviously, you know, bracing is going to affect a lot of things. It's going to affect your tone. It's going to affect your volume, and V-class affects your sustain. So you're getting a lot more ring
yeah.
out of those guitars because of V-class bracing.
Yeah. Thanks, Rob. I'm reading the chat while it's going. By.
How-
I'm very excited that I can read it at the same time.
The other thing that's really cool is tuning these guitars is a blast. You know,
What do you mean?
says
they just
It's just easy?
It's
They
like
just
airplane
lock in.
maintenance, right?
Yeah.
They
Oh.
lock in. I mean, other guitars, I remember forever. It's like you think you got it, and then you hit it. Then these are great. So especially in the studio when you just want to quickly, you know, get going.
That's what I was about to say. For what both of you do, considering how much you record,
yeah.
you know, having something that just locks in at 440 or whatever tuning it is that you're
Totally.
doing and just is a rock is so hugely important. And that is one of the unsung, victories you get with V-class bracing is that
Yeah.
portion of it. I mean, on stage, fine, you got 5 people playing on stage, and there's a lot of blur and there's a lot of banging around. You may not notice it as much, but in the studio,
Yeah.
it counts.
Totally. It really does. If you're,
especially with synths and stuff.
that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, if
Oh,
you're
yeah.
using like any MIDI instruments,
Oh, 100%.
you're in such danger if it's out at all. And if your ears are like my ears are really sensitive to things being out of tune. I'm really annoying about it. So yeah, you're just like, wait, what? So it's such a dream.
My
It's
ears
lovely.
are so sensitive to it that I like cannot tune a guitar without passing it through a strobe tuner. I can't.
Oh man.
I cannot do it.
Yeah.
I strobe everything. Andy Powers is the same way now. Andy is close to perfect pitch as far as tuning goes, right? But he still will strobe everything because you got to tune to that tension, right? You got to get there to that micro cent.
Totally.
Anyway, that's fantastic. So you guys you've had these guitars for a while now. You've been writing, and obviously, ladies and gentlemen, they're pretty all right composers, just a little. Like
He's the composer.
if you're looking,
They're
if
all
you're
right.
looking to have
She's
your
a great
film
songwriter.
scored, RAM, with some help from Dar and brother, where's Sage? It can help.
Oh, Sage is
He's upstairs.
He's in his studio. Yeah.
He's in his studio right now making.
Is it like it's not a house? It's just a whole bunch of sub studios under one roof. Is that?
basically that's what happened?
it is
What
pretty funny.
percentage of your square footage is studio space at this point?
All of it.
It's funny. We had a guy come to check the alarm system the other day.
Oh, because the fire alarm kept going
And
off
he
in the
had to
middle
go
of the
through
night.
all
Yeah.
the rooms, and there was like a guitar in every room. And he said, "Well, who's the musician in the house?" And I said, "All of us." And he just, because my wife Wendy's a classical flutist, piano player, and so I just thought it was funny. It was like, "Who's the player?" We all are.
We are.
What do you play? What kind of music?
Everything.
All kinds.
Yeah, and he was like, "Oh, who?
All of
who-
it.
Do you guys? What kind of music do you guys like? All of it. Like, what do you? I don't know.
It's so good.
But
It's
that's
so
what's
Yeah.
I think so fun about you guys, and especially like I always love when I see you get a hold of new models like this because it's like Daria and Ram's creation station, and just seeing
I like
what
that.
happens, just seeing what happens. It always reminds me that guitars are tools for making stuff up, and they're tools for fun,
Yeah.
and it's a reminder to just pick up your guitar and just play. Just
It
play the
really
thing and
is.
see what happens sometimes.
I
And
know, it's-
I forget that a lot.
Really, I know it's funny. It's like don't forget that it's called play. I feel like Andy or something. It's like it's called play for a reason. Like it's
Yeah.
just for fun, And I think God, that's important right now to
That's
just
it,
have
total,
fun and make
Tony.
a beautiful noise for no reason. Like it's a great thing to do.
Yeah, that's a Tony Policastro thing, right? When he educates guitar, he doesn't want people to practice. He's like, it's not practice, play. Play.
Yeah.
Pick up your guitar, and if playing
Hey,
today
brother.
means you're learning how to fret a C chord properly, then great. Then you played, and you've done well. So you guys have been playing these for a while.
I'm sorry, it's really hard to pay attention to. Like I can hear him
love it.
now.
He wanted up. He got up. Now he's going to go back down because you see what he's doing the minute that I got him up here. Oh, now he's calmed down. Now, all right. Yeah.
This could
Can
be
we
a dog
sample
podcast.
Roger?
Oh,
Jay,
yeah.
we gotta get Sage a sample of Roger.
We'll get Roger and Harry on.
On a track. Well, Harry's
track,
already
yeah.
featured on some tracks.
Harry's already.
Harry
featured
is-
on-
Oh, we can
Jay's-
make
Jay's
make a
parrot.
band with Harry and Roger and call it a HR Puffin stuff.
You
For
did
those of you that are old enough to know what that
I
is.
don't know what that means. I just
I know
laughed.
exactly.
I love that.
Ram knows what it
I
means.
know, baby. I'm down with that.
Oh, I like
So wait a
text said,
second.
is there a studio
HR
apartment? Yes.
Puffin stuff. Who's the one? You know.
So wait a second.
Yes, sir.
Evan, welcome to the show, Evan. You didn't miss much, nothing at all.
No, we've done nothing.
So,
At all.
what have you guys been making lately? What have you been inspired to make on those instruments musically?
Well,
Well, the two videos you showed, right?
yes,
Okay,
definitely
well, there's
those.
that.
Definitely those. You know what's actually fun is so I've been noodling. I've been coming up with a lot of new stuff, and nobody's heard any of it yet. And there's a song that I was really excited about. I was really proud of the lyric when it came to me. I feel like I'm starting to get to this new place. I don't know if there's songwriters in the chat, and if you guys, how it's so fun to talk about songwriting and the different processes, and everybody always asks, is it lyrics first? Is it words first? And I've had a new thing with, I think, the melodic content that I've been writing lately and with lyrics lately, where I'm just excited about what's coming through. Like, I feel like I'm saying what I want to say in a way that feels poetic, but also feels really to the point. And I think when I was younger and when I first started writing, I would just sing so much, because obviously you can tell I'm such a talker and a singer. I would just sort of go with whatever like came, I know. The two of us in a room is bad because we're both such talkers. And I can still hear Roger. I would just kind of go with like stuff off the top of my head, to be honest, a lot. And then I would shape it from there. And lately, I don't know, so anyway, story short, there's a song that I was excited about, but it kind of felt like a few different pieces and I wasn't sure how they went together. And Roger agrees. So I didn't finish it because I was like, I don't know what this thing is, but I think I like it. And when these guitars came, no joke, for real, when these guitars came, I was showing it to Ram because I was like, maybe you might have an idea of some stuff to play. Like, it needs glue. It needs some way of like sticking it together and all the different parts. And he started jamming on it a little bit. And then we started to put a few little effects because these guitars sound so great with effects on them. And so anyway, we could play it for you guys if you want. It is completely not done. It's like an experiment. But again, we sort of thought studio guitars, you're hanging out with us in the studio tonight. Nobody else in the world has even heard this thing. I think
Let's
it's cool.
workshop it.
But like,
Let's
yeah,
do
we
this.
can workshop it. Actually, you know what's funny? We were talking about comedians the other day, right? Like I've been really into the Mike Birbiglia, like Working It Out podcast where comedians like, they help each other with their jokes. So this could be that, but for songs. But, yeah, if you guys are down, I'm happy to play it for you because you'll hear. So
Yes,
we can give
please.
you a rundown of what you're actually hearing here. Like, I'm just going through my vocal mic, so you guys are getting just completely naked 300 here, just the sound, just the mic'd up guitar and me together, and then he's plugged in, and so we just put on. I don't know how to share my screen through this thing. Can you guys hear that?
Yep.
So that's a little Tim Henson. That's a little Tim Henson Neural DSP plugin. And so, yeah, he's just gonna kind of noodle. When we were playing it the other day, I started singing him these kind of Bjorky little melodies. Little things like that. And then so he was taking them and then writing from there. And we started coming up with this thing, and it started to feel like one piece is what I meant to say. Started to glue the whole thing together. And so I have these guitars to thank for that. I'm really excited. I feel like the song's almost there. So yeah, if you want us to play it, we can do it.
You go.
All right. So I think it's called Wisdom Teeth. So we'll see. Ready? Driving mindlessly, the polite ballet of the four-way stop. No, after you, thinking mindlessly how they wanted to take my wisdom teeth. And I said, no, I need as much wisdom as I can get. Thanks, though. Stopping recklessly at the horse farm at the end of the street. Eyes aloft, a young colt recklessly rolling in the dirt to cool himself off, or scratch an itch, something just at the edges of perception. I know the feeling. Am I still who I am, or have I changed in too many ways? The cage my soul is in is different in ways I didn't intend. I wish I could change only in the ways I want. I wish I could be someone a younger me dreamed of. I hope I make her proud. I hope I make you proud. mindlessly. The polite ballet of the four-way stop. No, after you were thinking mindlessly how they wanted to take my wisdom teeth. And I said no, I need as much wisdom as I can get. Thanks, Lord. Am I still who I am, or have I changed in too many ways? The cage my soul is in is different in ways I didn't intend. I wish I could change only in the ways I want. I wish I could be someone a younger me dreamed of. I hope I make her proud. I hope I make you proud. And then I was hearing another guitar line like a something like that. I don't know.
That was awesome. So much fun just to watch.
Did you hear
and be
the
behind.
delay? Could you hear this? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Here, wait. I'll
Yeah, we heard the
close
delay.
it so it's not so loud. Yeah, something like that.
Here's a good question by Rob.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Daria.
Yes. Oh, it's
How
Rob.
fa-
What up, Rob?
How fast can you come up with a verse if I give you one word?
The word is passion. Ooh, you know, I mean, I can try. I'm happy to do it. I mean, give me some chords. Give me something. I don't know. You know, the way I actually, he knows this. This is kind of how we did the other song that we played at the beginning. More than like, oh, I'll give you a word. Like, not an improv comic sort of style. It's more like, if we're hanging out and having coffee, or if we're doing like a frenzy therapy session and you're telling me something that's going on with you, it starts to translate into lyrics. And I'm like, oh, hold on. Do you want a song for that? Like, you know, it's like I can write a little song prescription to the story you're telling me. It's like, it shapes itself that way. So I don't know if you want to
Daria
give me
version
more.
of there's an app for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
There's a song for that.
There's a song for that.
It's
Yeah.
funny.
You could
Dar
just
knows this.
play,
I spend
41
most of my
and sing your own thing.
Wait, what?
I spend most of my songwriting stuff I do is electronic actually. And
Yeah. Oh my God, I know.
mine starts with stuff like
Yes.
I'll hear
I love
sounds
that.
that I can sample, and then when I hear a sample, I'll hear a click, and then when I hear a click, I'll hear a beat, and then I
Exactly.
can put all these things together in one spot, and that's kind of how I hear it. Or if somebody will ask me to make like a synth patch or something, I just find the tonality, and then I move my fingers around, play different chords,
Yeah.
and figure out, okay, those two chords, they sound great together, so I'm going to go, "Brr," and I just make, and I layer and layer and layer and layer,
I
and then
know.
it ends up a melody at some point. But
An amazing melody. I don't know how many people have heard the stuff that I don't want to call you out, but I've heard some stuff lately. It's amazing. But yeah.
But
Absolutely.
it was pretty funny. We did something, and someday maybe I'll put it out. But you know, we have these Powers electric guitars, and for the longest time, a lot of people would say they're not high gain guitars, and I said, well, okay, maybe, but high gain it can mean different things for so many different folks, right? Like Mike and I talk about this. Like Mike and I listen to metal, right? But we also
Totally.
listen to like stoner rock, which has a lot of metal in it.
Yeah.
Right. And there's different vibes, and then there's like,
I listen to Polyphia like every day, and I know they call themselves metal. I don't know if that's considered metal,
No,
but
I mean it's wild.
Math rock.
Math rock,
is
super
it?
mathy.
I don't know. It's so melodic and beautiful.
But I did this
I
thing,
think it's
and
really
I think I
sexy.
sent it.
Like I don't know.
I think I sent it to you, Dar, where I was like, I took a Powers Electric home and I wanted to make a high gain song, so I screamed over this.
Oh, I
high gain
love
thing.
That's
that.
awesome,
That
yeah.
was
And I
so
s-
cool. I was like, "Is this you? What is this?"
Yeah,
Like,
and I sent it, and I was like, but to that was just to me to like prove a point that like you can make anything you want
Yeah,
high gain. It's just how you
totally.
control the gain. So anyway,
yeah,
But I really love the idea of how it's not the same for everybody. Music is just it's not the same. I've talked about maybe I was in a songwriting session once with Jason Mraz. I was there just delivering a guitar to a friend who was doing a songwriting session with him. I wasn't in the songwriting session. That would have
Yeah.
been awesome. But the way he works is people will come with guitar riffs and stuff, music, and he pulls out books and he'll say, I've got words for that.
yeah.
And so his is like poetry. It starts with poetry first, and then he goes from there, and it's really, really brilliant. But
Mine's like weird, spontaneous poetry translation. Like the lyric that I liked so much in that song, I was literally driving home and there's a four-way stop and there was that, oh, no, you go. No, you go. And like the people we were all being very polite, but no one was going because everyone was going, no, you go. And so then I had to pull over because I went, driving mindlessly, the polite ballet of the four-way stop. No, after you. And I was like, oh, that's kind of something. Like, that's pretty cool. You know?
that's so wild. And Gabe,
Yeah.
you kind of write that way too. Like sometimes you're like Riff McGee. Like sometimes he'll just be like, oh, you heard that
Riffmaster
thing?
General.
Yeah, he's like, you heard that thing that's on the front of that video? Yeah, I just made that. I was just sitting there. Like, and I'm
I
like,
always write melody first for everything
Yeah.
because lyrics are easy for me. I mean, easier. They're not easy, but they're easier. Like I can
Yeah.
write or talk all day, but music is much harder to write for me. I don't shred like Daria and Ram do. I'm not a ripper,
I don't shred.
so-
Oh no no!
I don't
You know
shred it.
you know who I am actually when it comes to melody writing on guitar. I'm Jack Black in School of Rock. I like have to sing it first. I'm like
that's fair.
and then I figure out what I
That's
sang
interesting.
because I'm not as good of a guitar player as I'm able to write melodies off the top
Pretty
of my
good
head.
guitar
But
player there, Chief.
thank you.
Pretty
Do you
good.
actually? I was just having this conversation with Sage. So Sage is my brother, who also knows Jay, and all the Taylor guys. And we just had a really cool conversation the other morning about. He was saying because he's an incredible musician, similar to Jay, all electronic, just an absolute genius. And he was like, "Dar, I don't hear music in my head," and like I just goof around, and then I hear something cool, and then I manipulate it from there, and that's where it happens. And I was like, wait, I'm the same. I'm not hearing it in my head. I'm like singing because singing feels fun, or playing because playing feels fun. And then I'm listening. So it's like I get to be the one making it and be the listener at the same time. And then in the same way, I'm like, oh, that was cool. Let me do that again. So I think where does music really come from is where I'm taking this, guys. It's existential magic, baby.
It's so different, I think, for everybody in every situation. Like,
Yeah,
and
totally.
I don't know. I do hear music in my head. I do.
That's awesome.
But getting it out is really, really hard. And
Which is-
a lot of times it's just the exploration. You just mess around and you find, like, I'll find chord shapes. I don't know. I can't tell you what they are. A lot of the stuff
Same.
I play, I can't tell you what chord that is. It's just, I found it
I'm
and
the
it sounded
worst.
cool here. So
I'm
Found it
the
in the
worst
back
when it comes to
pocket.
that. When people are like, I had I played with some friends last week at a benefit show, and I got up and played like one song, and I was like, what chords is this? And then they tell me the chords, and I was like, what's that look like? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I've never, I have a, my mother was a pianist as she grew up. As I grew up, again, you guys have all heard this story before. Maybe some of you have. It was like I wanted to play saxophone, but I had to play this hand-me-down clarinet first. It's like all that kind of stuff was great. It's not all of it stuck because it wasn't necessarily what I liked.
Totally.
And so when I started figuring out what I like and understanding the sounds that I like, that's how I play guitar. That's how I write parts on guitar, bass, all of it. It's more of how I like. Or, Steve, speaking of Steve, if he's still hanging around.
I hope he is. I might
Steve
have
is one of the better.
I have a secret present for Steve if he's still watching later.
Steve is one of the best bass players who could just sit. I mean, he's like you, Ram.
I haven't seen him play
sit down
bass.
and go locked, and he just rips, and he's got so
cool.
much flow that it's brilliant.
I
Meanwhile, Mike
do enjoy
can write a
Ram's
metal
bass
song
riffs.
like.
Actually, I
backwards,
can't
so
write a
fast.
metal song. That's the funny thing. Like when I sit down, I'll sit down and be like, man, I got an idea in my head. It turns into one of two things. It turns into pop punk
Yeah,
instantly.
Awesome.
I don't know
Love it.
why,
Look.
but it's just like, well, Green
It's
Day could
fun
have
to
wrote
write that
this,
way. Yeah.
you know,
Totally.
or it turns into stoner rock, and it just turns into like something that's like 40 beats per minute tuned to Q, So
That's so great. Whenever I just sit down and I have no parameters, it's like, it's probably because you raised me. It's always like odd metered and weird scales and like, what is the, like, it's weird, but I've embraced the weird. I'm into it now. But
It's so
I wanted to
funny.
say, when you were talking about chord shapes too, I feel like it's fun hanging out at a guitar nerd show and talking about this stuff. Is like, it's almost like trading cards. It's like, we, as guitar players, we get to go around the world and like pick up a shape from each other. Like we all have like a
Totally.
favorite shape in our back pocket. And then when we meet each other, we can like walk away with a new shape. It's such a fun way to hang out.
That is so well said, Dar. That is how I've learned how to play anything. is
Same.
By simply watching a friend
Yeah.
play something. There was a
Or a
drummer-
hero, like watching a
was a-
video of your hero
yeah.
playing and being like, what
I
the
don't
heck
even
are
know
they
if
doing?
it's a hero. I
I
don't
mean,
even
like
know if
watching a
I'm-
video of Dave Matthews, for example. Like just
Yeah, yeah. I've
never
learned-
heard of him. Never heard of him.
I had to get it in there. I had to do it.
I've learned everything I know from Dave Matthews, actually. So
Personally,
Please.
personally, yeah. Dave and I, we talk about being 50 together, and then do our thing. Anyway.
what I'm curious, Daria and Ram, and kind of for everybody too, like, you guys were talking earlier about getting inspired by different guitars, and you guys, try a lot of different things, which I think is really cool.
We're very
And-
grateful. It's a very cool thing to get to do.
Yeah, but I think what interests me about that, and I think often with you guys, your kind of raw creativity that just kind of you foster that and it comes out all the time, and I think new guitars are a really good way to feed that. To get inspired by this is a new
Totally.
thing. I don't have this in my toolbox. This new sound or this new vibe, and I'm curious about like what you found with those new models. I haven't had my hands on one yet. I'm super pumped to try them out. So I'm curious about like what kind of felt different to you guys, or what was inspiring about those to you.
Do you want to take it? I feel like
It's for
when we
both
took
of
them
you.
out of when we took them out of the cases, I think we were both just like, oh, they're cool. They're like just chill, little understated. Like I said, like, oh, they don't have like some crazy inlay going all the way up. They're just like cool guitars, but they do look really beautiful. And then when we started playing, they were like, wait, what? Like what? Why does this sound so good? Like I think I texted you, Jay, and I was like, are you sure these are threes? Like
Yeah.
threes and fours? Like I'm confused right now. I think you get really hit in the face with quality with these ones. They just sound really, like I said, like best friendy guitar. Like I wouldn't take this to a campfire, actually. Like this is like, that's maybe more GS Mini. This is very like, I want to play this every day in the studio. It just feels very easy and what can I say? Almost like I think that's why the song worked with it. Like I feel like I can really be myself with this guitar. I don't know what that means. Like it's like, well, it's calling me out somehow to be myself. I don't know. Like it's a good canvas. I don't know. Does that make sense? What would you say?
But when I was growing up, people used to refer to their instrument as their axe, right? And what's interesting, this actually felt like an axe, meaning that you just get to work.
Ooh.
Oh,
And that's
look at that.
That's what I noticed. It was like I picked it up and it was like, this is totally different. You just plug it in and I was ready to go. So the other guitars are really nice, but sometimes you sort of get to understand them a little bit more, right? It's like, how am I going to mic it? All that kind of stuff. These were just they just said, what do you want to do, really? Let's do
You
it.
know, it's pretty
Yeah.
funny you say that. Right after Brian had to leave, he sent me a text of a photo of him, and he was sitting there with his 414 CE studio watching the show about.
Oh, send that to me.
300
That's so
400
good.
Studios. Like he loves that. He loves that instrument, and he does feel. He feels like he's like, man, this thing just gets to work. That's
Yeah.
for sure. And he
It
does
feels like an
Do these have
everyday-
torrefied tops, Mike?
Yep,
Both of them have torrefied
they do.
tops.
They both have torrefied tops, and they both have fully glossed bodies. And one other thing that they both have is the nut width is a little bit different. It's 1 11/16.
I really can feel that 16th of an inch.
Oh,
So
you know what though? Here's the thing. People joke around about that. I know that you're half joking about that. You can feel that difference, especially if you're used to playing on a 1 3/4 neck. There's something about it that sometimes when you play a neck that's a little bit smaller, that you're like, I'm not sure what's different about it, but I feel something different. And when you're going the opposite direction, if you go from a 1 11/16 to a 1 3/4, it feels like you're stretching a bit. So I will say that these guitars, the studio guitars, are great for those that are transitioning, say, out of a toccata instrument. You know, say you're used to playing like a 114 CE and you want a solid wood version. Well, you could jump up to the 314 CE studio and have a lot of the same feel, but have a solid wood instrument that's going to give you something that is more familiar feel and playability wise. So that is, you know, a factor in each of these packages, how they differentiate from the standard versions. Now, my personal opinion, I'll play anything.
same.
If I like the way it sounds, you know, I'll
Totally.
figure it out,
Yeah.
you know. But you know, both a 1 3/4 and 1 11/16, you know, nut width neck, they're not crazy different, but you may feel a difference. It's very dependent on the person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, that 1 11/16, I mean, Mike, you know how this goes. And I spend a lot of time in like guitar community land, you know, talking to guitar players in the,
You do?
yeah.
What?
In the like the Taylor Guitars Owners group I run on Facebook. And, you know,
Never heard of it.
guitar players,
heard of
like any other kind of nerd, like camera nerds or anything else, get in the weeds on specs a lot.
Yeah.
You know, people will talk a lot about nut width and stuff like that. And I'd actually posted a photo. I have my 814 CE Deluxe out here that I've had forever, and I had that out playing yesterday and today. I kind of cycle guitars and get stuff out and just play. And I posted a photo of it and said, you know, I don't talk about this guitar enough because it's and it's really fun to play, and because I always obsess over my Builder's 517 and you know, but it's so fun. It's like such a nice, like I love the way it feels. It's so easy to play. It's such an easy neck, and I think that's really what people are getting at when they kind of spec out on things like nut widths, and you know, everybody is a little different. Like I have kind of 8 pans, and so a wider
I
nut
have
width
teeny-
usually.
I have teeny tiny ones, so that's like, yeah.
So that neck might feel a little more homey for you than, you know.
Totally.
I'm like Mike. I'll play on anything. You know, I'm used to playing a wide variety of guitars. I grew up. My dad had a Takamine growing up, which would be a 1 11/16, or I've had Larave's and those have that too. And you know, it's a older, more traditional nut width for, you know, for maybe some people would be used to. And so I think that's kind of an interesting thing too. Maybe if you're coming from another brand that has that, these might be cool guitars to look at, or, you know, depending on what feels comfortable to your hands, it might be a nice thing to try too.
Yeah, it's very transitional in that way because there are other companies that share that 1 11/16 nut width, but a lot of people just play Taylors in general because they find them to be the easiest playing guitars, no matter what the nut width is.
That's
So
what got me. Like, I don't
Yeah.
actually know. I don't nerd out on the specs in the same way that I would maybe about like DS9. But but I
There
know
you
that when I
go.
picked up a Taylor, like there are actually guitars. If I go to a guitar shop with you guys and we're like hanging out, if I picked up other guitars, there are literally guitars for me where like I can't. The neck fills up my hand. Like I can't do it. I can't play all the way around. It's very
Big
weird to me.
baseball bat thick.
Yeah, like a
mix.
baseball bat.
Yeah.
It is like that. And so I think we were talking about like sort of the consistency too. That was the playability and the consistency across the line for me was like, oh, I can pick up any Taylor and I know I'm going to be okay. Because it's like someone hands you a guitar at a party and you're like, oh God, I can't play this. Like, I don't know what you want me to do. So if I know it's a Taylor, I'm like, oh, I'm good. It doesn't have to be my guitar. I think when I first started and I only had one, it was like, this is my guitar and this is the only thing I know how to play.
Yeah.
You know? And I would be afraid to touch anything else. And now it's like, oh, if it's a Taylor, like, let's go. Let's see what it has in it, you know?
And we were traveling. Remember, they used to send you the guitars because we didn't want to travel.
I
with
can't
the
believe they did that.
717. and you could always trust the box would come. You pull it out. It's
Yeah.
great. You send it back. It was
The coolest thing in the world. I felt
really
like a
cool.
rock star. Yeah.
Really cool.
Amazing.
I'm nerdy. I often have like lots of specs memorized about different guitar brands because again, I worked in a guitar shop and I'm just a big nerd, but I am actually personally a little more like you, Daria. I don't care. I pick it up and see how it feels.
Yeah. I
I
get
can
a
tell
little
if a
nerdy
neck-
about tone woods sometimes maybe, but like,
Yeah. I mean, I
I'm
know
always
the
like,
things.
where's the cedar? I want more
Yeah.
cedar. But
Like I know those things intellectually, but like I can feel, oh, okay, this neck feels maybe a bit different than this neck. Like I can tell it feels different. I don't necessarily care why, and I can find a way to play anything usually, like, but I'll find different things. Like to me, that guitar feels like it'd be great for like bar chords,
guys
a little
are
narrow
nerds.
nut width, easier for bar chords. Great. I would lean into that, like that's right.
Yeah.
Chunk
You
'em.
guys are nerds. It's awesome.
Yeah.
You're
nerds. I do that too, though. The nut width on the synth that I'm playing after the show is pretty. It's pretty brutal.
it's gnarly.
It's gnarly nut width. Anyway, but Phil has a question, and then I'd love to hear another musical
Ooh.
little
Yeah,
thingy, and
I
then
got you.
we'll wrap up the show. This is a good question. I have kind of an off-topic question. Phil, none of your questions are off-topic, man. You ask some
go.
of the best questions. I live in an old house. The max humidity I can get is like 15 to 30%. Whoops. Much of the winter. What is the best guitar to have not to have to worry that much? Go.
The correct answer is if you don't ever want to worry about weather, humidity, anything, buy a carbon fiber guitar. But we don't make those. So
You're also not going to worry about the best tone with those either.
Exactly.
They
So
don't
it's like-
sound the best.
like Bob Taylor says, or like Andy Power says, you can have anything you want. You just can't have everything you want. So you can have something that's going to put up with all the humidity and all that other, stuff. But is it going to give you the same tone that a solid wood guitar will give you? And the answer is no. It's tough. I mean, if you're struggling with humidity, then it's the question of keep it in your case more often than not
Put a
with the
humidifier in it.
humidifier in the case and
Yeah.
do the best you possibly can in the situation you're in. There is no best guitar that's made of anything resembling wood for that particular thing, because wood is, the wood for guitars came from a tree. That tree grew with sun, soil, and water, and we took away all of it.
Yeah.
So it's constantly going, no, and wanting to twist and do a whole bunch of other things. And us and a lot of other companies go to great lengths to season the wood to prevent that from happening. But in extreme conditions, it's still going to want to do that. So add some of that humidity back to it in an enclosed, more secure environment, AKA the case. And that'll be your best bet because, again, there is no best guitar for that. There just isn't.
Yeah, control the room as much as you can. And like Mike said, store it in the case. Humidipacks do a really good job if the guitar is like already at 45%,
Yeah.
they'll keep it there.
Yeah.
However, if the guitar is dry, get some sponge humidifiers in there and kind of amp it up. And remember, like the case is wood too.
Yeah.
And so it's like a micro environment for the guitar. So you get it out
Oh, I
and
didn't
play
know
it.
that.
This
That's so
guitar's
cool.
been out for a day and a half,
wrapped.
and it'll go back in its case tonight into that micro environment. That the wood in that case is properly humidified and kept that way all the time. if you can hear noise behind me, back there is a humidifier running in my studio, fighting to keep my studio, at proper humidity, and it's a struggle because I live in Ohio and it's dry.
I'm sorry.
And it's a struggle, and it's dry here in the wintertime, and it's going to I'm always going to be fighting that, and that's why I keep my acoustic guitars in their cases, because I can control them. And if the humidipacks aren't keeping up, that's where I would go to like sponge humidifiers.
Oasis.
Yeah,
Oasis.
Something like
Oasis,
that.
Music Nomad. They even make one that's got a hygrometer that you can put in the sound hole, and it'll tell you the humidity in the case. That one works great.
Thank you for all that information about humidity.
Guys,
really
okay, so was it
So
who asked
nerdy.
me for a song with the word passion?
Yeah.
And then I said how it works better with stories, and then we just had the story about the old house, and you guys were talking. I was listening, but I was also like, I live in an old house, water's dripping down the walls. Where's my passion gone? Oh, you can do
did it.
something with anything, man.
Just don't take it in the shower. That is
Yeah,
the
no.
thing.
Do not.
Don't take it in the shower. Also, guys, I saw another question in the chat. Somebody asked, where was it? Rob Seymour asked, Ram, do you always plug in when recording? Not to take over the show or anything, guys.
Actually, I do. I do
Answer
both.
away.
I mic it and I plug it in, so I have the choice, so I can blend
Always.
them.
I saw that AT50 series mic RAM.
Yeah,
Those are nice.
yeah. And
See? Nerd.
there's a couple of ribbon mics too that we use. Actually, I used to put. Oh, we don't have it. The Neumann. I used to.
I don't think I
use
can
that on the GS Mini bass a lot. So line that in, and it's kind of interesting. So, yeah, I think that if you're going to play with plugins, line in is awesome. But
With an
it's all,
ES2.
huh?
With an ES2.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Sometimes on other pickups can get a little quacky. It's a little weird.
But I find it's if I get 3 tracks, right? If I get stereo track, 2 different mics, and I have the line, I'm usually pretty safe to get what I want.
Slingerland Sam has a question. Can you guys suggest a floor humidifier?
I use pretty large Honeywell. That's what I have.
A large what?
It's a Honeywell brand, but it's just I don't know how many gallons it is. It's pretty large. I think it's supposed to be good for like 1,000 square feet, which this room is like 435 square feet, and it's still fighting. So get the biggest one you can. But I like that because it's got really good filters in it that I change regularly, so it doesn't grow mold and crap.
That's exciting. Thanks, Gabe. All right, I think it's time for some 2 minutes of sports, and then for Daria and Ram to play a song. Let's get real.
My
That's
favorite thing to
exactly
do.
all I wanted this show to be. Is I wanted to hear you guys play.
Oh, you're so
Two-
sweet.
So sweet.
We just
2
wanted
minutes-
to hang out with our buddies.
2 minutes of sports. Baseball is back. Basketball is good. Hockey
Baseball's
is-
back?
Yeah. it's
Pitchers
spring
and
training.
Spring
catchers.
training, yeah.
You succeeded
Spring
in getting me
training.
excited about baseball last
It's-
season.
it
So
starts
I'm
in-
excited to try to
That's
learn
in
more.
April.
There
Okay,
you
cool.
go. I'm excited about that.
Got
Me
3.5
too.
weeks left before actual baseball.
Oh, okay. I'll start then.
Brian, who is here, is actually a clubby for the Cubs.
Ooh, cool.
Excuse me.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
so he's a clubby for the Cubs, but I didn't know this. Did you know in spring training they trade clubbies sometimes? So he's actually out with the Reds right now. So in
What's a-
spring training he works with a different ball club.
He was traded.
Yeah, he got traded. He's a trader, kind of. Whatever. We're not
What's a clubby for a cubby? What's a
so the clubhouse.
Clubby for a cubby. There you go.
He's a visitor side clubhouse manager for
Oh, cool.
for Wrigley Field.
nice?
Whoa.
So he
Cool.
works at Wrigley on a regular basis.
That's awesome.
And it's super. He's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful guy. I love him. He's great. So that being said, sports, baseball, hockey,
Basketball.
football, basketball. Oh yeah, March
Steph
Madness
Curry.
is about to happen, and I just learned something. The Michigan State Spartans are the #1 bet upon team to make it to the Final Four. Isn't that crazy?
Cool.
I'll
and you
take
just
it.
happen to be
even
wearing
if
the
that,
hat.
Yeah.
Even if that's what it's about, I'll take it. I'm like, that's it. That's got to be good, right? I'm excited.
That's because Jay bets on the Spartans constantly.
Yeah, it's just me.
Bill Nye picked the Guardians to win the World Series this year, so you know.
Yeah, but he's the science guy, so no one cares.
Yeah.
All right.
Baseball is not a science.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baseball's not a science.
It's an art.
It's a game.
It's an art.
It's
the best game.
It's an art.
You should watch
that
all
being
those
said-
clips of Captain Cisco talking about baseball that I sent you.
Yeah,
Jake,
there's that.
Let
All
me
right,
tell you
ladies and
about
gentlemen,
baseball, Jake.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We really appreciate this. We got the incredibly talented Daria and Ram here. Dar, thanks for hanging out. Ram, you guys are
course.
absolutely brilliant. Gabe, it's always great to see you. Mike, you're the best. I get to see you all the time. It's pretty fun.
I'm sorry.
I know you are sorry, but Dar, I was wondering maybe if you could play us out. Dodgers repeat. Who's this guy? All right,
I would be so happy
Gabe.
to.
Gabe, how do you feel about this threat?
I mean, it's baseball. Anybody can win. Anybody can lose. We'll see what happens.
Okay. Mike hates it.
I'm just staying quiet because we want to keep our following.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, the last time we had a guest on here, what was his name? Scott had dropping F-bombs about the Yankees. Oh boy.
I don't need to get into these conversations.
All right, Daria, Ram. How about you guys play a little music for us, and then we'll say goodbye and peace out.
Okay.
You guys are the best.
I never wanted to end. Thank you. You're the best. Okay. I don't know if our buddy Steve is still watching, but we were talking to him the other day, and he said something about a song that I really like too. Oh wait, I shouldn't unmute that yet. And okay, so I don't even really know the song. I just pulled up the chords, so because we're just hanging out in the studio today. So I'm gonna try to do a little something for Steve, and more importantly, no offense, Steve, but for Ellie, Steve's daughter. And so this is a little something for them. Let's see.
She's got this.
Okay. Little blue, be my shelter, be my cradle, be my womb, be my boat, be my river, be the stillness of the moon. If I could, I'd go with you to a place I never knew. It's in your eyes, so dark and open, there's a light that leads me back to you. 'Cause you're not so far away, I hear you say you never walk alone. So don't be afraid of the dark in your heart. You're gonna find a way to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. You're gonna find your way home. Little blue, be my anchor, be my light, my shining star. Be my darkness, be my danger, be the strings of my guitar. Little blue, how I love you, something strong and something true. In your arms, so dear and gentle, there's a hope that leads me back to you. 'Cause you're not so far away, I hear you say you never walk alone. So don't be afraid of the dark in your heart. You're gonna find a way to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. You're gonna find your way home.
Wow.
Oh, thanks. I was just reading the chords off the thing.
Nice.
It's a little Jacob Collier for Steve and Ellie because she hears it every night to go to bed.
That's wonderful. That was beautiful. Now we need to
thanks.
get you a 5-string guitar. Okay.
Yes, please.
Please? Oh, I didn't even mean that as a sneaky ask for that, but now that's what it is. Oh my God, please, please, please.
They are
I
like
think
playing magic.
Yeah.
I
they're
want it
magic.
so
They're
much. I mean,
cool.
anything Jacob does is magic and anything he talks about is awesome. But when he was like, 5 fingers, 5 strings, what, doesn't it make sense? Yeah, genius.
All right, everybody. That was beautiful. You
Oh,
guys have been
thanks,
great. Thank
guys.
you so much. We are grateful for you guys to show up
We're
here
so
and hang out with us
grateful.
on a every other week basis most of the time. Sorry we had an extra
Well,
week
thanks,
off.
everyone.
But you guys are great. Gabe, Mike, Dar, Ram,
Roger.
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 I can hear him
Whimper-
running
oh
around.
yeah, he's just like, no, I want to go back up on the lap, Daddy.
So good.
I love that that's how he would sound if he talked. All right.
Yeah, that's exactly how he would sound.
Meanwhile, my bird would say, liar. Anyway, okay. All right, everybody.
Thank you
That
guys
was-
so much.
that
Great
was
to see you, everyone.
fantastic. Take
Bye.
care.
See you in the chat next week.
See y'all.